Is Trump hurting the Republican brand? If you ask a majority of Americans, the answer is a resounding yes. Now, this is according to an MSNBC Telemundo Marist poll. Now, according to this, a majority of Americans, and even a greater majority of Latinos, no surprise there, say that Donald Trump is hurting the Republican Party's images. And half of Americans believe that his rhetoric is insulting and offensive. So let's break this down. Let's get into the numbers. According to the poll, 58% of adults say that Trump has marred the GOP's reputation, compared to just 24% who say he is actually helping them look better. Wow, helping the GOP look better. That's an interesting opinion. Among Hispanics, the margin is 65%, compared to just 16% who say that he has helped the party's image. So that's a huge majority of Latinos. Now, Latinos are actually a very large, growing base of support that the Republican Party has had. They actually hope to tap into that. In fact, part of their election autopsy for 2012 said that, hey, we should maybe reach out to Latinos. Well, you can see how well that's gone. 65% of Republicans say Donald Trump, the current frontrunner for the GOP, and the id of the Republican Party is hurting the Republican brand. That's crazy. That's really bad. That's really bad. Because it's getting to the point where Republicans can't just rely on the white vote. They have to do some outreach. And if they don't do outreach, they're going to lose. They'll never be competitive in another national election if they don't find some way to reach out to Latinos. It's kind of a big issue. So, now, here's the thing, right? Republicans are divided on this question. Now, we looked at all Americans, right? Now let's look at the Republican Party. 43% of Republicans said that Trump is helping the image of the GOP, compared to 40% saying that he has hurt it. So a majority of Republicans say Trump is helping us with his rhetoric on immigrants, on women, on Latinos. He's helping the GOP. Yeah. So, I've been saying Republicans mostly agree with Trump, and it's because he embodies the worst facets of the party. And that's pretty much what's left of the party, is the worst ones. The more moderate conservatives, well, they don't really care about they don't really care for Trump. They've either left the party or they're staying silent. Or if they're part of the establishment, they're trying to destroy Trump. But the majority of Republicans left overwhelmingly support Trump. That's why he's the front runner. This guy's literally has been leading the Republican Party the entire time. We've never seen this before. Never seen anything like this before. I remember back in 2012, it was like a seesaw. It's like a roller coaster. But in this race, Donald Trump solidly in the lead. The margins, the margin of his leads have changed, but he's still been leading. And the people in second, well, they would go up, they would go down, but the one thing that's been constant is Donald Trump. That's because he represents the majority of the Republican base. Not good with independents, but definitely good with Republicans. Now, Republicans, according to this poll, still give Donald Trump high marks for style. For style, 71% say Trump's rhetoric is telling it like it is. Now, a quarter of Republicans, on the other hand, say that Trump's words are insulting and offensive. So 71% said, go Donald Trump, you're telling it like it is. You know who else also tells it like it is? Your drunken uncle at Thanksgiving. That's the guy who rails on Obamacare because of the death panels, who listens to Fox News and regurgitates talking points over Turkey. That guy is not fit to be president. Neither is Donald Trump. He is that guy. Besides, he's wrong about 90% on the things he's saying. He's not fit to be president. You know who also does tell it like it is, but is actually fit to be president? Bernie Sanders. And that's because he actually uses facts. I'm just saying. But back to the poll. Among all Americans, about half, 52%, say that Trump's language is offensive, while 43% say that Trump is just telling it like it is. Now, the split between Republicans and all Americans is also evident in his favorability ratings. So let's go over that. According to the poll, 57% of Republicans view Donald Trump favorably, compared to just 23% who view him unfavorably. But when you expand it to all adults, Trump has a 27% positive, 55% negative rating. So among Republicans, they're like, yes, Trump. 57% Republicans, we love Trump. We view him incredibly favorably. But most of the country's like, what are you doing? The guy's insane. That's a huge disconnect, guys. Huge. Huge. Now, among Latinos, 67% have a negative view of Trump, and you wonder why. Maybe because he talks about rounding up 11 million undocumented immigrants and sending them out of the country, and then calling the people who come over here rapists and criminals. Well, but somebody's doing the raping, Don. Somebody's doing the raping. Apparently. Whereas 55% of that 67 said they view him very negatively. So it's not just negative, it's very negative. With just 17% of Latinos giving him a positive rating. Now Trump, interestingly enough, to kind of wrap this all up, Trump actually is doing the worst out of any 2016 candidate polled on favorability, both with all adults and Latinos. But when it comes to Republicans, no one compares with Donald Trump. They love him and they support him, and they will as their party drives off the cliff with him.